Well, hello internets, here we are. We have ourselves a beautiful fall day unfolding ahead of us. The trees' leaves are changing color. The Christmas is in the air. My fall projects are starting to get wrapped up. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Well, this here is going to be a little bit of a semi-topic vlog. Years ago, when I was struggling with the house, thinking about selling the house, I was told by multiple people, don't sell your house, it'll be a mistake. So I hung on to it. And it was a mistake for me to hang on to it. You know, people told me don't be renting because you're throwing away money. Instead, you keep the house and it costs you money. Yes, renting, okay, fine, you're paying out X number of dollars every month that you're never going to get back. But if something breaks, you call the landlord. If you want to move, you give your notice and move. You know, if your apartment is 60 years old and has bad electrical and wet basement and a roof that leaks and a poor foundation, then you know, you move. Where a house, you're stuck, especially after a mortgage. You're stuck with it for the duration of the mortgage. And if your life changes in such a way like mine has, or mine did, or has done, or is still doing, then you don't entirely know what your future is going to hold. And yeah, having a house is nice, having the security is nice, having the so-called investment would be nice if you ever got it paid off. But it's kind of like smearing yourself in honey and then walking through a bear den. You're not entirely sure if you're going to get eaten or if you're going to make it out the other side. And you know, sometimes you don't make it out the other side. Sometimes the bears take a good old swipe and nibble off you on the way, and you end up getting wrecked. And that's kind of what happened with me. I was always taught growing up that you never give up, that you never surrender, you never let go. And I took that philosophy to everything, whether it was a job, whether it was a relationship, whether it was the mortgage, whether it was a vehicle. And I kept vehicles for far too long, to the point where they weren't worth selling. I went through so much with relationships where most people would have just, you know, cut her loose kind of a thing and went somewhere else. And I stayed far too long with the house, the mortgage, and but I wasn't ready to sell. A year after having my accident, I wasn't ready to bail. According to the promises I was made, there was going to be retraining if I didn't return to pre-accident level, which I never did. There was going to be retraining, there was going to be job searches to find the job that works with my new training. But that never happened. The system let me down. And, you know, maybe I should have barked a bit. Maybe I should have made a fuss. Maybe I should have got a lawyer. But at the same time, when you have so much other stuff going on in your life, the least, you know, the least you want to do is cause more conflict and confusion and chaos to encompass whatever you have left of your free time, your peaceful time, with other drama that really, in the grand scheme of things, really won't make a difference. You know, if I would have got a lawyer, do you really think the lawyer, the cheap lawyer that I could have afforded, would have really made a big multi-million-dollar company pay for the workplace injury? You really think WCB would have actually paid out and come through as well? You really think? Because you could tell by the way they handled the claim, by the way they handled obvious signs of neglect on their building, obvious signs, the way they treat their equipment and their employees, the fact their fire extinguishers and first aid kits were 10 years out of date, the fact their dock had very minimal, very dim lighting. It made it very hard to see. The fact the cracked concrete around their door could have contributed to my trip, my fall, my accident. And it's still broken till this day. It's still not been fixed till this day. The fire extinguishers and first aid kit were updated, but I bet you they've gone obsolete in the last 6 years since, the fuss that was made. Heck, they didn't even want to change the heat exchanger on the furnace that was actually cracked and letting carbon monoxide back in the office. Because they figured, hey, if we're dumb enough to work there and make them money, then they really don't need to keep us safe, in my opinion. But once again, that's my opinion, and their opinion might be different than mine, and hey, you grow up and accept the fact that others have differences of opinions, different beliefs, different religions, different whatevers, and you don't force your lifestyle or belief or opinion on them. You are told by a young age that this is the picture perfect way of living. You get a girlfriend, you get a house with a white picket fence, you have kids, you grow old together, kind of a thing. You work hard, you get your house paid for, you buy this, you buy that, you buy cabins and vehicles and travel to Europe or travel to Vegas, and it's the way you're supposed to go. But nobody ever stops to tell you, or at least tell me anyway, when I was growing up, that none of this means anything if you're not truly happy on the inside. You're forcing yourself every day to go to work a job that you're miserable at just because it pays the bills. Well, really, you're killing yourself the long way. You're slowly poisoning your mind, deteriorating your mind, holding on to all this baggage, all this weight that is slowly crushing you, day by day, piece by piece, ounce by ounce. Now, I'm not saying if you're not happy in your marriage to file for divorce, because there's plenty of other ways to deal with problems, whether it's counseling, or whether it's talking things through, or whether it's listening to each other and finding out what's really going on. You make your change, you go with what each other agrees upon, and then you make your change, and things will work out the way they're supposed to. You don't just cut and run, and when the going gets tough, you don't just cut and run and bail and leave the person holding the bag, holding the bill for everything, getting tarred with the brush, going through your life as hell for the next few years because the person bailed on you and left you to carry everything. I know in my past relationship, it was important to me to make sure she left the relationship with good credit, and I took things onto myself that I didn't need to take on myself. The blame was in all right to be shared. The debt was in all right to be split, except I chose to take it all myself because I thought once the dust had settled, things could go back once the pressure was off, once all of those fighting points that were such a sticking point in the relationship were gone. A certain person would realize that things could possibly start to be rebuilt. However, I think once that certain person got out there and realized that there's a whole new world of experiences and freedoms out there that they never had before, now they don't want to come back, or did not want to come back at that time. And now if they ever try to come back, there's too much water under the bridge. Too much time has passed, too much hurt has been dealt out, where it'll be very hard to ever, move on from that kind of thing, those kind of things, that abandonment, that you know, turn your back on a person right when they need you the most. And it's not like I was going to dump everything on a certain person and leave them with everything. And it's not like I was going to ask them to share the load. I was willing to take it all myself, which I did anyways. I just wanted their friendship, them to be a part of our lives, or my life, still be able to camp or go for coffees. But you know, again, it is what it is, right? It's just sad you invest 14 years in somebody and then in the end you have nothing. Where 14 years ago, if you would have just done something totally different, course of action, then, you know, you would have had a whole different 14 years of your life and not have wasted everything on what you did. But the thing is, we all have a difference of opinion. It all is what it is. There's nothing really can be done with it, about it. We are all different. It's just, well, part of being human, right? Part of being a person. Some of us don't get along. Some of us can't get along. Some have issues that can't be overcome. Some people have things in their past that they won't let go of. They hate their landlord or their apartment they live in, but yet they won't move because they just don't want the hassle of packing everything up to move. Well, in my opinion, if you're not willing to make a change, then you have no right to complain about your landlord not fixing anything or your apartment being the way it is, because really, a little bit of money, a little bit of time packing, a little bit of moving, and you can make a whole new difference in your life. And, well, it is what it is. Like I said, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one, everybody gives one, everybody has to throw their 2 cents in regardless of what it is. You know, everybody says you're supposed to do a certain thing a certain way, and if you don't follow what is being said or being told, then there's something wrong with you. You know, you don't follow the crowd, you don't buy the hottest trends or fashion, you don't buy the vehicles like your friends drive, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't party, you don't drink, whatever it is, then there's something wrong with you. People don't stop to think that there's others out there that may not share the same wonderful pastimes like they do. But thanks for joining me on this here vlog. It is what it is. Around we go. Thanks for watching. Catch you all next time.